Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. With the use of modern technology, Michael Bublé's vocals failed to capture Elvis Presley's in his RCA Records released a compilation CD of Elvis Presley's voice recordings with new orchestral accompaniment by the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra in 2015. It's just as incredible as you would expect. The album's most impressive tune, Fever, showcases Bublé's jaw-dropping voice. The King's vocals harmonize wonderfully with Bublé's silky smooth voice, and the song is sure to wow music fans everywhere. If you've ever wanted to know what a dud like this would sound like, here it is. Bublé takes over a verse for the King and delivers it at pitch perfect. It's like the two titans were recording together. The song features Bublé at his seductive best, so it's no wonder he starts many of his live performances with it. The song was accompanied by a lengthy interview in which he professed his passion for both Favor and Presley, whom he believes to be the greatest performer of all time. The channel belonging to Elvis Presley himself on YouTube recording such a unique song was an incredible opportunity for the winner of The Voice Season 26, and I find it heartwarming to see his delight as he speaks about Presley. I've always enjoyed the song and believe it's wonderfully seductive and smoldering. Today has been a really memorable experience for me. He said that this is the peak of my career, and while he isn't physically there, I feel his presence nevertheless. Being surrounded by his aura and being able to shut my eyes while knowing that I'm abo. Elvis Presley recorded the most renowned rendition of Favor a few years down the road in 1960 for his album. The original recording was by American R&B artist Little Willie John in 1956 and was a commercial success, reaching number 24 on the Billboard Hot 100 and topping the pop arts. Elvis has returned. Countless other famous artists, such as Beyonce, Madonna, and Bette Midler, have performed covers of the popular song throughout the years. Cattle Michael Bublé, 38 years after Elvis's death, did a favor for the King. On a cold December evening, the stage was set in the glittering night of Las Vegas, a famous city where dreams were painted on the night sky. Fans of all ages filed into the enormous theater festin, which was adorned with gold-framed photographs of famous musicians who had played there in the past. The air was heavy with anticipation as die-hard music fans, young couples on dates, and families seeking a taste of nostalgia filled the plush velvet seats. Tonight, though, it was more than just another concert. It was truly unique. As the lights went out, a solitary individual stood in the middle of the stage, holding a microphone, while the stage was illuminated by a spotlight. The more gruff image Michael Bublé had was earned during years of passionate concerts, during which he sang out jazz classics and love songs with a blend of current and vintage flair. His soothing voice swept the room like a warm embrace, evoking nostalgic sensations. Michael expertly transported the audience to a bygone era when big bands and soulful crooners reigned supreme with each note of his introductory song, the renowned Feeling Good, signaling that something remarkable was about to happen. As if moved by some invisible power, the crowd let out cries of joy and applause. "Thank you, it's wonderful to be here," he said, his characteristic grin glinting over his face. As we paid tribute to some of music's most legendary figures this evening, the crowd went wild with some even yelling out, "Frank Nat," and of course, Elvis. Just thinking about Elvis Presley brings back a flood of emotions, taking us back to a time when rock and roll was sweeping the charts and changing the face of music forever. The very mention of his name conjures up images of charisma and unparalleled talent. He is a cultural icon. Michael's demeanor abruptly shifted as if dictated by fate, as he said, "I've always been attracted with great duets that transcend time. Songs, such as Favor, portray an everlasting feeling of love. Wouldn't imagine the wonderful experience of sharing a moment with a true legend." The audience made an audible outcry of joy. Their enthusiasm was contagious. It seemed as if Elvis himself may enter the room at any moment. Michael's mischievous grin widened as he drew nearer to the microphone. "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I have a surprise in store for you. With a single click of a button on the stand, the room was suddenly filled with a soft, alluring melody, evoking nostalgic feelings and a sense of warmth. The air was heavy with nostalgia as a holographic image surfaced. The world of music is no stranger to breathtaking surprises, but few could have prepared for what unfolded when Michael Bublé, the king of contemporary jazz pop, achieved the impossible, singing alongside Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, nearly 4 decades after his passing. It was a moment of musical magic, a hauntingly beautiful collaboration that left fans in awe but also in tears. This wasn't just any posthumous duet. It wasn't a simple digital recreation or a stitched-together mashup of old vocals. No, this was something far more intimate, something so real it sent shivers down the spines of those who witnessed it. The performance was chilling, as though the very soul of Elvis had returned to the stage for one last song. When rumors began swirling about a mysterious new project featuring Michael Bublé, fans were intrigued but skeptical. The whispers suggested that he had been working on a never-before-attempted duet with Elvis Presley, using unheard vocal recordings of the late legend. The mere thought of it felt surreal. "Elvis is gone," fans said. "You can't just bring him back." But somehow, against all odds, it happened. As part of a highly ambitious studio project, Bublé teamed up with an elite group of sound engineers, historians, and AI specialists to unearth an obscure, isolated vocal take of Elvis singing the classic jazz standard Fever. The recording had been hidden away in the vaults of RCA for decades, its quality pristine but its potential long forgotten. With painstaking precision, the team reconstructed the song, blending Elvis's velvety voice with the smooth, unmistakable tones of Bublé. It was a duet for the ages, one that defied the laws of time and mortality. On the night of the unveiling, the world watched in stunned silence. It was a televised event, a moment in music history that would never be forgotten. The lights dimmed, and a hush fell over the audience as the first sultry notes of Fever echoed through the air. And then, seamlessly, as though they had been singing together for years, Michael Bublé joined in. "When you put your arms around me, I get a fever that's so hard to bear." It was spellbinding. Their voices intertwined like two old souls reunited after years apart. The chemistry, despite the separation of decades, was undeniable. Bublé himself was visibly emotional, his eyes glistening with tears as he harmonized with the legend. "It was the most humbling experience of my career," he later confessed. "I felt like I was standing in the presence of greatness." For the duration of the song, it felt as though Elvis was truly alive again, not as a memory, not as a recording, but as a living, breathing artist sharing a moment with the world. The orchestra swelled, and the smoky, jazz-infused arrangement carried the song to its hauntingly beautiful climax. As the last note faded into silence, the room erupted in applause, deafening, desperate, reverent. But amid the applause, there was also grief. Because when the lights went up, reality set in. Elvis wasn't really there. The king was still gone. The duet left an aching void in the hearts of fans. While it was a gift, a miraculous chance to hear Elvis sing once more, it was also a stark reminder of all that had been lost. "This performance was both the most beautiful thing I've ever seen and the saddest," one fan tweeted. "Hearing Elvis sing again just reminds me how much the world still misses him." Music critics called it a masterpiece, but also a ghostly farewell. "It felt like a final goodbye," one wrote. Like Elvis had come back for one last encore before vanishing forever. For Bublé, the experience was life-changing. "Elvis was my hero," he admitted. "And now, for just a brief moment, I got to sing with him. I got to feel what it was like to share a song with the king. And that means everything to me."